one's going to be a comma. Good, Jessica. And the other one, Sophia, any ideas what the second part would be? Begins with a C. And another word that begins with a C. So it's a coordinating conjunction. We also said that we could call these a linking word. Okay, so comma and a coordinating conjunction, linking word. Okay. Then we have fanboys, and that represents all the linking words that we can use, and those include words that are associated with each letter. For, and, nor, but, or, yet, so. Okay. Okay. Any questions about those? So just to give you a quick example. I was getting scared. So we have the subject, verb, it's an auxiliary verb. I was, and then we have the comma and the coordinating conjunction. Then we have the second clause. So we don't include but in the second clause. I wanted to keep going. Subject and verb. So both of these are independent clauses. And then they have in the middle the comma and the linking word. Any questions about that one? Okay, so the last one here we have is a complex sentence. Anybody know anything about the complex sentence related to clauses? What kind of clause does a complex sentence have? Any ideas?
It has to have one independent clause and one dependent clause.
Good. So it has to have at least one of both. Okay, good job. Was that you, Catherine?
No. Maggie.
Maggie. Okay, good job, Maggie. So it has to have at least one dependent clause and one independent clause. This is the first time we've seen dependent clause because a simple sentence is one independent clause and the compound sentence has two independent clauses. So both are independent, but this is the only time we've seen a dependent clause. So it has to have at least one of these, could have more than one of each, but at least two of them. Okay. Now we have, if anybody knows the answer to this without looking at the notes, I will be surprised. This is a tough one to remember. It has one essential part. Any ideas what that one essential part would be? So this one is called the subordinating subjunction. Okay. So it's kind of a linking word, but a little bit different. There's a bunch of these. I didn't write them down, all of them, but these are some of them. So whenever you see one of these, you're going to know that it's a dependent clause. And because it's a dependent clause, you'll know it's a complex sentence because there's only one that has a complex sentence. Okay, now we have the rule related to a comma. Anybody remember the rule related to the comma? Anybody remember that at all? It's probably the most difficult thing we have here. Anybody remember?
The comma is required in the middle of this.
Yeah, so it's related to the middle. It's good. So the comma is required in the middle of the sentence. So you got that only when a dependent clause comes first. Okay. So if the first clause has a subordinating conjunction, so if the first clause has one of these, then you will know that it is the dependent clause. Okay. You'll also know that it requires a comma at the end of it. So when you see that clause, because of the subordinate conjunction, you'll know that it requires a comma at the end of it. Okay. So one that we can put in there that requires a comma would be this one. Despite it being chilly, she refused to wear a jacket. So we have this subordinating conjunction. We don't have that in there, actually. There's more subordinate conjunctions, but these are some of them. I'll add that one in there too. Despite being chilly, she refused to wear a jacket. Now, if you switch these around and say, basically, that subordinating conjunction coming last doesn't require a comma. You could put it like this. So we could use the same sentence and just simply say she refused to wear a jacket. Okay. Despite it being chilly. So no comma needed there. She refused to wear a jacket despite it being chilly. So that's when the dependent clause comes last. Okay, any comments with that? We didn't go into it as in depth as we did last time. We just want to make sure you guys are on the same page, okay? Any questions about any of those? Okay, so let's go ahead. And we'll take a look at that article. Okay, let me just put that up here. Okay, I'll get off that there. Okay, so you can keep that, if you guys can all go into that material document that I just had up. We're going to have at the bottom here, we're going to look at a few of these. If you guys could all go into that document, I'll send the link in here. So if you can all click on that link I just sent.
We don't have access to it.
Okay, you don't have access to it for some reason. That's kind of strange. Okay, I just posted it now. Just see if you have access to it now. Refresh your page before you check. Okay, I see people joining there. Okay, we'll wait. Anybody not in it yet? Okay, so we're going to be looking at the article and we're going to write down these sentences, okay? We're going to do it rather quickly and we're just going to go over and make sure that you guys understand how to identify them, okay? So let me just share this with you here. Okay, perfect. So everybody looks like they're in there. If you're not in there, just let me know. Okay, so this was the article we were looking at, which you guys were supposed to look at for homework. So basically, there's a number of simple sentences in here, okay? And there's also compound sentences and complex sentences. Now, the complex sentences are written well, so are the simple sentences, but the compound sentences, they're missing the comma. Okay, so we're gonna need to look at the comma. Okay. So I'm going to assign you guys, I want you to write out we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we got 12. So what we're going to do here is we're going to get Maggie, you're going to write 2 complex sentences from the article down here. Okay, you can just write them out from the article. Okay, then we have Catherine. If you guys do the same one, that's okay, or you can find another one. Just try your best to write a rich one. If not, don't worry about it. Catherine, you're going to write 2 other complex ones, okay, from there.